Heavenly Father, we're so thankful for this opportunity that we have to get together in fellowship and in service to our community. Father, it's you that inspires our service. It inspires our want to take care of our neighbors and our friends here in our community. And Father, we're so thankful for that gift that you've given us, that spirit of generosity and that spirit of giving. Father, as we come together now, we ask your blessing upon this food. We ask you sanctify it for our use. Father, forgive us where we fail you and strengthen us so that we may continue to walk in your ways. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Thank you. Before we get started with our program, there's always a group of people that we want to thank for their service to our community and for being here today. And I have a few of those that I'd like to run over. Mike will do some more later on in our program. But I wanted to take a special opportunity to acknowledge the Board of Directors for the Hopkins County United Way that have joined us. Many of them have joined us here today, and I'll just run down the list. I'll not make everybody stand up. We all know each other here in this room. But our board this year is Mr. Chuck Askins, Deborah Evans, Tim Glenn, Rusty Harden, Charlotte Henderson, Mike Jumper, Beverly Owens, Brandy Patton, Melita Reynolds, Brandon Williams, Larry Willis, and myself, Adam Tier. We also want to make special acknowledgement of the reason that you all are here today. This is our annual Lead Donor Luncheon, which means you're here because the organization that you're a part of or your business is one of the top givers to last year's campaign. And seeing as how it was my campaign, I really do, from the bottom of my black and shriveled heart, just want to tell everybody how much I really appreciate your willingness to give to our campaign to help those people that are served by the 19 agencies that we had the ability to fund this past year, and we're finishing up this fiscal year. Thank you so very much. And I know it was such a hard year to give. We had, right as the campaign got started, we had the hurricane that came through and hit the coast, and that rightfully so took a lot of people's giving and shifted it to those people who had lost everything and some that had lost their lives, and we certainly understand that. So even in that environment, our community continued to step up and give to take care of our neighbors here locally. So I want to tell you, just as a personal thank you so much for what you've done, for what your organizations and businesses have done to help the United Way here at home. Our top givers, we always, on the front of your program here, you have a sheet of paper there. We list out our top donors for the year. This last year, our top 15 givers, as far as the organizations go, came in as Ocean Spray, Grocery Supply, FlowServe, City National Bank, our Sulphur Springs School District, Lyons Bank, Holt Cat, our friends out at Encore and UPS, the City of Sulphur Springs employees, Salta Manufacturing, Atmos Energy, Clayton Homes, Farmers Electric Charitable Foundation, and our friends out at Hopkins County Hospital District, the EMS Communication, which they posted a video. I don't know if y'all saw it on Facebook the other day. It was just, it was great, the work they did, so you need to look that up. And on the back, you'll see all the organizations that donated at least $500 to our campaign, and it's quite the list. And I know that y'all didn't come to hear me talk and hear me read names on a list. Even my mom texted that she was going to come hear me speak, but then just didn't. So I understand it completely. But I do want to draw attention to all the organizations that are part of this group that gave at least $500. Thank you for your important part of the work that we're able to do here with the Hopkins County United Way. Thank you so much. This year we're especially excited because we have a new campaign chairman this year. It's Mr. Mike Jumper. Mike is one of the senior VPs over at Lyons Bank, and I'm going to turn the program over to him at this time.
Thank you all very much. And I may try to do this without the microphone. It's just easier on me. So let me know if you can't hear me in the back, and I'll go back to the microphone. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me now? Or do I need the microphone?
No.
You're good. Okay. Well, thank y'all very much for coming out today. As y'all very well know, y'all are the heavy hitters when it comes to the success of the Hopkins County United Way campaign. Hopkins County and Sulphur Springs is not a county that I grew up in. I'm not native, but I did. We've been here. Amy and I, my wife, have lived here with our family twice. It does not take us very long to know the city and this county comes together and they make it happen. And there is a need here in Hopkins County. When I went through the allocations committee and we set through our due diligence phase, we interview a lot of different charities and try to determine the needs that are in Hopkins County. And I've got to confess that I was probably a little naive to the amount of need that's here in Hopkins County, the amount of free meals that go out on a daily basis, the amount of counseling that goes to children that are abused in different manners, and then other social services that take place here. So United Way is a charitable organization that I got involved in a couple years ago. It was really easy for me to get involved in. I got involved when Brandon Williams asked me to help pass out packets. And the thing that was probably the most encouraging for me is that when you go hand out packets to businesses, most businesses are standing there with their hand out. They're ready for them. They know it's coming. They're ready to give. They receive it and they turn around and give you the money back almost immediately. So it's a testament to our county and our businesses and our individuals that are here that they want to give back to our communities. This is the 63rd year for Hopkins County United Way. United Way nationwide has been around 125 years. That's another testament to United Way. 63 years in Hopkins County. That doesn't happen without businesses and individuals giving to it year in and year out, yourselves and your businesses. I had Susan go back and kind of pull some records just to kind of see what Hopkins County United Way has given back to our community, and we were able to go back to 2002. Since 2002, Hopkins County United Way has given over $2.5 million to Hopkins County. That's amazing. And as I mentioned earlier, your businesses, your companies that you represent, and your employees are the heavy hitters. Y'all are the lead donors. And since I'm a banker, I'm kind of a numbers-minded guy. And so we went and pulled some more numbers just so you can see, just to illustrate how big a heavy hitters y'all are. We went back to last year's campaign. 85% of all contributions, either corporate contributions or individual pledges, came from these businesses. 85% came from them. The other 15% came from people and companies that are not on this list. The success of this campaign, the $165,000 that we're trying to raise this year so that we can distribute it to the 19 charitable organizations, the success of this campaign starts with you and your business in here. So I would encourage you, when you go back, just keep that in mind, how much the county depends on you and your company. You know, along those same lines, when we started talking about speakers for today, I started thinking, you know, this is the winning team. You know, this is put together a winning team. And I started thinking, man, I know this guy, and I know this guy that's over in Commerce, and he just happened to put together a winning team last year. And it's kind of I mean, if y'all followed it at all, it was kind of an impressive finish to the season. And I think he'll tell us more about that. But I want to introduce our keynote speaker today. Colby Carthel is the head football coach at Texas A&M University of Commerce.
Yep.
My alumni. And he put together a winning team last year. They won the 2017 National Championship, Division II National Championship. And so I'll let Colby come up and tell us a little bit more about putting together winning teams. I don't need a mic. This guy doesn't need a mic.
Sure.
That, and I just want y'all to take 2 seconds and look at this thing. I mean, what does that weigh?
A bunch. Can I ice my arm the next day after I wear it? No, thank you, Mike. Really honored to be here, honored to be asked to speak. It's a great cause, and I put together some notes. He told me to speak between an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half. So I had to have some notes here, so bear with me. But no, really appreciate Mike and our history. I got the job here about 6 years ago, and he's the one that actually loaned me my money to build a house in Lyons Bank. And so I really appreciate that. I don't know how smart that was on him, but he told me, you're taking over a program that's terrible. It's my alumni. They've been 1-9, 1-9. Said, shoot, if you win a national championship, you don't have to worry about paying us back. So, Tom, I don't know why y'all keep sending me these illegal things, but they're waiting. I'm not paying it back anymore. So
I do have a coaching job.
Those were my exact words.
It is great to be here in Silver Springs. It's a fantastic community, a great town. Sarah and I love coming over here, your downtown area and the restaurants and the people. I always tell people it's like a Norman Rockwell painting over here, and y'all done a terrific job just with a lot of things with this community. And we love coming over during the summer on Friday or Saturday nights. It's always a wet ride home because I can't keep Sarah out of those little water fountains. She has a great time, but it's a great community over here, and it's great because of the people, and I really mean that. Got a lot of great friends that are associated with our university that either went to school there or just due to the proximity. But I asked about building a winner, and that's one thing that we've been able to do there at A&M Commerce with our football program. A little bit of the background, took over, hadn't had a winning season in over 14 years, I think it was, and they were coming off a back-to-back 1-9 years. In that first year in 2013, we went 7-4, had our first winning season, went to postseason. The next year, we won the conference, we're 9-3. The following year, undefeated in conference, back-to-back champions, went to playoffs for the first time in over 23 years. 2016, won the conference for the third time in a row, won a playoff game for the first time in about 30 years, won 11-2, and then last year 14-1 and national champions. We took the program to the top. We had different themes throughout as we built that. Last year was in our kind of program theme now is to the top. We want to continually take our program to the top, and it's got a double meaning. We always want to give praise, glory, and honor to the top, our Lord and Savior, who makes it all possible. So got a special program right now that we're a part of, and really excited about what we did on the field, but more importantly off. Last fall we had the highest team GPA in school history, and then he mentioned the hurricane relief. I really feel like we won the national championship not on December 16th, but on September 24th. We'd been down and played at A&M Kingsville and won that game, and we spent the night there in Corpus Christi. Usually in Division II, you just hop on a bus and drive back, and you get back to Commerce about 9 a.m. But we spent the night there, spent another $5,000 or $6,000 out of our budget, got up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and we drove the team over to Port Aransas, which is ground zero where Harvey hit. We did over 400 hours of community service that day, and it wasn't a photo op. I mean, we were working, and coaches were working, and we had a shirt, pouring sweat, about 106 degrees heat index, and it was awesome, and a lot of our Lion football families from the Houston area, which were just getting pummeled with the rain, but we couldn't get there, but we could get there and help them. And it was a neat experience for our team. We were the ones that were really blessed, and I think that day our team learned being part of something bigger than yourself is the most important thing, which that I think relates to this right here in the United Way and what you are able to do. But that was a really special day for our program, and I think set the tone for what we were able to accomplish last year. But how do you get there? How do you build a winner? I'm going to hit on three things briefly and on how to build a winner. Number one, it's about people. You've got to get the right people on board. And in our case, with our football program, first and foremost, we had to hire a staff. And I got the job there in January, and it was nearly the end of April before I hired my final coach to be a part of that staff. And that's a long time. In the recruiting process, had to do it pretty well by myself that first year. But David Shaw, who you may recognize that name, he's a head coach at Stanford. I heard him speak about 2 weeks before I got this job. This is my first head job, so I'm going into it, scared to death, not knowing really what I'm doing. But I heard him speak, and he said the theme of his talk was take time with your hires. Take time with your hires, because you only get one chance to get the right people in the building. And and that really hit home. He gave a lot of examples I won't get into, but so I took my time as I put the staff together to make sure we had the right people on board that were going to be leading these young men and leading this program. And then once we hit that first spring, had our first team meeting, and there was 87 players on the team, and a room about this big, say, I'm the new coach, and who wants to win? Oh, I do, we're going to win. Oh, yeah, they're all fired up. And I said, we're going to have to work like champions. And we jumped into that off season, the boot camp, and got up at 5:30, and didn't do anything different than other championship programs do in terms of workouts. But one by one, kids quit, and it wasn't for them. And that's okay. They weren't bad people, but we started with 87th in that spring. We had less than 35. We stripped it down to the bare bones of people who wanted to be a part of something special, who wanted to be a champion, and then recruited to that philosophy. And from that, we built a winner. So you got to get the right people on board and the wrong people off. And then recruiting, that's one thing that we're able to handle is who I'd never coach in high school. Okay? Because in high school, you're just stuck with the genetics of the population around you. Okay? You don't get to recruit, but all those parents that are responsible for those bad athletes, they also are on the school board and think you need to go because you can't win with their cleft foot son. But I'm not very politically correct either, so sorry about this. But recruiting, and that's something that's fun about our profession. We get to go out throughout the state of Texas and recruit kids that are good players, but more importantly, recruit good character, recruit good academic people, but more importantly, just recruit people that you want to coach for the next 4 or 5 years, that you want to go to battle with. And so you've got to surround yourself with good people who associates with your program or your business or whatever you're involved with, like this United Way. You want to make sure you're associating with winners, with people that have the right mindset in terms of doing right and doing good. I try to always bring in former alums and players or people from the community and speak to our team each and every week at our pregame meals, just so they get tired of hearing a coach. Okay, just like you probably get tired of hearing your boss, or you may be the boss, and they get tired of hearing you. So I think it's important to bring in other people to speak and have an influence on your program. But it's about people. Surround yourself with good people. And in our profession, you have a chance to move on. And I've had some opportunities to go coach at the Division I level as an assistant. And that's one thing I've never done. And I've researched it and talked to a lot of people that have made that move. And they're like, man, it's great. The money's great. You make tons of money and less work. But, it really stinks, going from a head coach to being an assistant, because you're sitting in a room and you're wearing the same jersey or same coaching shirt as another guy, and he's not who you are. He's not a morally good person. He's a loser, but he's on the same staff and he represents you, and you don't have the opportunity to control your environment, control the culture, and everything else. So again, that just really hits home, and I share that with you because it's about people in terms of building a winner. The second thing is to work hard. I don't think there's a substitute for elbow grease. You've got to be willing to work hard to produce a winner. Work hard and work smart. Nothing worth doing right is going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And some of you in this room are some of the most successful people in the Sulphur Springs, Hopkins County area. You didn't get there by being lazy. You didn't get there by sloughing off work. You understand the value of hard work, and a lot of that is, I think, taught in a rural community. I was raised, and spent a lot of time on a farm, and there's something about working with your hands. There's something about just good old manual labor that teaches you the value of hard work. And you got to be able to work hard, and more importantly, you got to be able to work smart, okay, in terms of building a winner, because you don't want to waste time. And in coaching, in our profession, there's a lot of guys that are up there, we got, it's the word grind, you hear it all the time. We're grinding, what is grinding? I got the office at 5:30 this morning, I didn't go home till midnight, my kids, if they're going to see me, they're going to have to get up at 4:30, watch me shave, that's pathetic. That's a freaking joke, in my opinion. There is a value in working hard, but work smart. And if you've got your work done, get your butt home, okay? And don't waste people's time. Again, don't have people working just to work. And time is something that's a very, very precious commodity that is the one thing in life you never get back. You make a bad business deal, you lose a bunch of money, hey, that's tough, regroup, you can go make that money back. There's a lot of things in life that come and go, but time is the one thing. It's ticking for all of us, and when it's out, it's out. And you don't get that time to go back and spend with your family, spend with your wife, spend with your kids, spend with the people within your program in a productive manner. So work hard, but more importantly, work smart. Do not waste people's time. Third thing is attitude and having fun. And I think, is a very, very important part of building a winner. Nobody likes negative people, period. And everybody in this room knows negative people. And think about that person that's, the most negative person in your life. And think about how many friends they have or don't have is probably an easier thing to say, because negative people, nobody likes to be around them. Nobody likes to be around a negative attitude. Life is not easy. Life is about responding and how you respond to circumstances and everything. It doesn't always go your way in life, okay? And you gotta stay positive when life throws you a curveball, or there's a speed bump, whether that's in your personal life, in your marriage, with your family, in your business, whatever you're looking at. It never goes exactly. God's got a plan and it's perfect, okay? But it's not necessarily your plan, and that's one thing where we kind of bump heads. We're like, man, I was going to do this, this, and this, and why is this happening? That's God's plan. Roll the punches, have a good attitude about it, and stay positive. There's no gospel hymn called "Keep on the Sunny Side of Life," and that first verse says, I'm not going to sing it to you, thankfully. Well, there's a dark and a troubled side of life. There's a bright and sunny side too. But if you meet with the darkness and strife, the sunny side we also may view. So keep on the sunny side. And I just think it's important that you keep on the sunny side of life. Today, it ain't very sunny out there, so it kind of runs good with what I'm saying. But the sun's going to come out tomorrow, probably about, according to weather.com, about 3 o'clock this afternoon. But keep a positive attitude in what you're doing, because it just helps you move forward and build a winner. The other thing with attitude is don't worry about opinions of others. Okay? Understand, have a plan, and work towards that goal, and don't worry about what other people say. And with social media is a complete joke. Okay? And it's a false sense of life. You get people on there and they're Facebook wonderful and Twitter wonderful. Twitter people just take shots, unnamed people. And don't worry about what people say on social media. Don't worry about comparing yourself to others on Facebook. Some of the people that are the happiest and life is just perfect on Facebook, their life's really in shambles. It's a false sense of what life in reality is. And don't worry and don't concern yourself with the opinions of others with whatever you're doing in life if you want to build a winner. And in our profession, it kind of goes hand in hand with media. You win, you lose. We lost the game this week. I'm not going to read the paper. I don't read the paper when we win. Don't read it when we lose. I don't care what people say. I handle the things that I can control and with our team, because the media is out to get you. And it's even, the higher you coach, the major college level, it's even worse. And with winning this national championship, I was able to go out and speak at a lot of different places this year. And Clemson had me out for their spring clinic, and got to speak out there and got to know Dabo Swinney's kind of a hero of mine. Watching him from afar, I've been impressed with him and how he's faith-based with his program. And we had a big transfer in this spring. He's like, I said, why do you want to come to conference? He said, because you're Alabama D2. And I said, well, I appreciate that, but I consider us the Clemson of D2. And that was even before I got out there to meet with Dabo, because just the way we run our program and what we're based on. But got to spend a lot of time with Coach Swinney out there, and as one thing I was talking to him about, at this level, the pressure and the media, how do you deal with that? And he said, you can't worry about what's printed in the paper, period. And he shared with me the story, and I'm going to share it with y'all. It's called The Preacher and the Donkey. A preacher wanted to raise money for his local church, and upon hearing there was a fortune to be found in horse racing, he decided to purchase one and enter himself. Unfortunately, the going price for a horse at the local auction was too high, so he ended up getting a donkey instead. He decides that because he has it, he might as well try his luck, so he enters the donkey in the race, and to his surprise, it came in third place. The newspaper headline the next day read, "Preacher's Ass Shows." The preacher was quite pleased with the current event, so he decided to enter the race again, and this time it won. The newspaper headline the next day said, "Preacher's ass out front." The bishop was rather unhappy with the news headlines the church was getting. It was horrible publicity. So he commanded the preacher to get rid of the donkey. The newspaper headline the next day read, Bishop scratches preacher's ass. After some careful thought, the preacher agreed to give the donkey to a nun at a nearby convent. Newspaper headline the next day read, "Nun has best ass in town." This was way too much for the bishop. He commanded the nun to get rid of the donkey again, so she sold it to a local farmer for the price of $10. Newspaper came out the next day. Nun sells ass for $10. The bishop fainted. When he regained consciousness, he told the nun to buy the donkey back from the farmer and then release it into the nearby fields. The newspaper headline the next day read, "Nun announces ass is wild and free." They buried the bishop the next day. So you cannot get worried and concerned about what's printed in the media. Don't get worried and concerned about other people and what they have to say about what you're doing and trying to accomplish. And have fun in what you're doing. Having fun rolls right along with your attitude that you have in life. And life is too short not to have fun. I tell everybody, this kind of a saying around our program, we don't have more fun at A&M Commerce with football. We don't have more fun because we win. We win because we have more fun. And I think that resonates throughout our program and really has helped us build a winner there within our program. So, in closing, just to wrap it up, sorry I'm not going an hour and a half, but surround yourself with good people. When you're putting an organization together, which y'all have here, or in your daily work, or whatever it may be, surround yourself with good people that have the same morals, have the same goals, and have the same attitude about it. Work hard. Don't be afraid to roll your sleeves up and get to work, but work smart. Don't waste people's time because you never get it back. And have fun and have a great attitude in anything you wish to accomplish. But really appreciate y'all having me again. I hope you can come out. We're just down the road. Come catch a game. If football's not your thing, that's fine. There's a lot of great events at our university that are going on, and come get involved because we're proud to be your university. One complaint I have about the place I work is, well, before my time here, they screwed the name change up. I wish it was East Texas A&M, but it's not, okay? And I know it says Texas A&M University Commerce, but Texas A&M University Commerce is your university. It's the, regional university for East Texas, and we appreciate y'all's support, and, come over and get involved and come to a game, support our kids. We've got a great, great program, a lot of good folks over there. But appreciate y'all having me. Go Lions.
That was inspiring. I think there's a lot you can take away individually. I think there's a lot you can take away professionally, and I appreciate the words that you put together. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our allocations and budget committee. Leslie Brown, Rusty Harden, Charlotte Henderson, Lindsey Johnson, myself, and Adam Tier. We're the ones that sit through and determine how we're going to allocate the funds that we raise for the campaign every year, and it was a good experience. I also need to thank Lyons Bank for sponsoring the lunch today, Cheney and Craig Johnson for our advertising. I think y'all are helping out with the billboards. Mallory and Mike Horn and Irma De Jesus with Latson's Office Solutions. They assisted in the campaign materials. And then Sulphur Springs Country Club, obviously, for the great food in the venue today. So thank you all to all those. We're looking forward to a great campaign this year. Again, I said our goal is $165,000. Goals are great, but anytime you can exceed that, it's even better. I'd really like for y'all to challenge y'all to go back to your businesses, challenge your people to see if y'all can achieve 100% contribution in your businesses, if you can. So to make this a successful campaign. And again, I want to hit on that note on how important this group is in here. 85% last year of our overall campaign contributions and pledges came from this room right here. So with that, I'll dismiss everybody. Thank you all again for coming out today, and looking forward to a successful campaign.
Go.